Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. This is Dr. Bundi, the Wellness Doctor. For those of you guys who are new, welcome. Here we talk about mental health and wellness and everything that basically affects our well-being. For those guys who are my subscribers, my day ones, thank you for coming back. But have you hit that notification bell though? Have you? So basically, I just wanted to introduce today's topic with a disclaimer. Today we will be talking about things that might be a bit triggering. We will be touching on issues such as sexual harassment, rape, consent. So if these conversations usually trigger any kind of trauma response in you, you don't have to watch this. And I hope you get the healing that you need. We're reminded yet again how vulnerable women are. March was supposed to be the month to celebrate women, but we found ourselves being reminded of how ripe and alive the rape culture is. Women shouldn't have to deal with being ashamed and being scared, worrying about our safety at every point in time. Now, I know a lot of us have been left feeling triggered and we're just like, what? And I'm really sorry, that was never the intention. And that's why for me, I've decided to partner with a brand called Inuka Wellness. It's a digital well-being platform, and what they do is that they connect you with a professional coach. And this professional coach basically can just talk to you and walk you through some of these things that you're anxious about, some of these things that you need a bit of clarity about. For as little as 625 shillings, you can get a 60-minute coaching session with your coach on text. And if this sounds like something you're interested in, I'll put the details in the description box below. The phone number, the website, and you can check them out. I'm also giving away 5 free coaching sessions, 5 free coaching sessions for 5 people. So this is one for each, yeah? So if the first 5 people to comment and say interested in Inuka, the first 5 people to say interested in Inuka will get a coaching session free, the first one, right? So you know what to do, get into the comment section and let me know. But also, if you feel like you need a little bit more help, if you actually need a therapist or a psychiatrist, please go to your nearest healthcare facility and request to see a mental health specialist. Without further ado, I'd like us to start this conversation. Today we will be talking about everything that has to do with consent from a medical perspective and from a legal perspective. The first half of the video will be talking about the do's and don'ts. What can you do when you find yourself in a situation where you've been assaulted, you've been sexually harassed from a medical aspect? And then the second half, I'll bring on my friend who is a lawyer, and he'll give us insights on some of the things we don't really think about when we're talking about rape, consent, harassment. And it's an eye-opening experience because I'm not a lawyer, so it was good to sit down with him. As usual, remember to like, share, subscribe, and let's just get right into it. So to start us off, what happens when you're assaulted? And in this case, I specifically mean rape. So the first thing I'd like to tell you is document. If you wake up in a strange bed or in a strange situation, pick your phone up, take pictures of everything, all right? That's the first thing. And the second way to document is to tell someone, a close person, a close friend, and just tell them, this is what I think has happened to me. I'm in such and such a place. Yeah, give the location of where you are, okay? The second thing you should do is, actually the second thing is a don't. Don't shower. Don't shower. Don't get into the shower. I know you might feel so dirty and like you just want to, please don't shower. If possible, don't even pee, because sometimes, when you pee, you might wipe and you might wipe away, quite literally, wipe away evidence, right? I know at the time you might not be thinking about these things, but this is why I'm making this video, so that you guys can share with someone, then maybe it might ring a bell to someone who needs it, okay? So number 2, don't shower, don't pee if you can. The third thing is, don't change your clothes. All right, so again, the third thing is don't change your clothes, because again, your clothes might have so much evidence. Even the fact that maybe your clothes might be torn, that's considered as evidence. So just as you are, don't change anything, don't discard your clothes. I've been in situations where women have felt so bad, they took the clothes off and they threw them, and that's evidence. That's evidence. Right? So moving on, what's the fourth thing that you should do? The fourth thing that you should do is you should get yourself to a hospital. It doesn't matter if it's public or private. Get yourself to a hospital as soon as possible. Now, with my personal experience, I would say go to a big facility. And this is why. There is something called a rape kit, and it has several items that we need to collect specimens, right? And if you go to a very small kind of facility, they may not have rape kits. So even if it's a government hospital, a public hospital, just walk into a big hospital and tell them what has happened, and they will begin immediately. Through the rape kit, they will use the rape kit and they'll start collecting samples, all right? So go to a hospital. And the reason why hospitals are important, aside from the rape kit and getting specimens, is they have mental health professionals there. So immediately they can do psychological first aid. They can do psychological first aid. If you notice, I said that you should go to the hospital and not go to the police station first. And I'll tell you why, right? Just hang in there. I'm getting to that. All right, so you've gone to the hospital, they've taken the samples following the rape kits, they've gotten a mental health professional. There's something else that they do. They feel, the doctor who has seen you has to fill a post-rape care form. Now this form is developed by the Ministry of Health. It's an official document and it's in all major hospitals. And they must fill that form if you're thinking of pursuing any legal action. And that post-rape care form is the one that now you go with to the police station to report what has happened. If you do things the other way around, if you start at the police station, then go to if you start at the police station, they will ask you, wapi daktari, barua ya daktari, you know, and you know how sometimes the police are not very patient, so it might really discourage you. I've had situations where women sat at the police station, they get so tired, they're like, you know what, I'm done. Okay, so a hospital is more of a refuge. It's more of a refuge, and we will give you further instructions. Sawa sawa. So the doctor fills for you the post-rape care forms. Now with that is when you can consider going to the police station. If you want, you can consider. If you want, I'm not saying you must. Then you can go to the police station. All right. Other things that they may do at the hospital, of course, they will. Depending on the level of exposure, the level of assault, they might start you on several medications, such as emergency HIV, what we call pre-exposure prophylaxis, so HIV medications. You might need to also be started on emergency contraceptive medication. You might be given medication just to make sure you don't get a bacterial infection. Basically, you'll be given a bunch of medications, all right? So I would recommend at this point when you're at the hospital, please go with a friend or a loved one or a family member, because it can be a lot. It can be a lot. And I know doctors can get very technical. You know, us, we are like, we need this sample before 72 hours elapses. We need to do the, like sometimes you're on machinery mode. So it's always good to have somebody who is close by, who is just holding your hand through the whole process, right? So for me, that's just as far as I wanted to get when it came to the advice. Of course, there is so much more. I mean, this conversation, we can talk about it in more details, but I just wanted a small summary and snippet to kind of give you guys, an understanding of the technicalities of how to go about it if such a thing happens to you. All right, so we'll just move over to the second half of this video, where I'll be joined by a good friend of mine and lawyer. He's called Njoroge. He'll be giving us some legal insights when it comes to consent and rape and harassment. So stay tuned.